Good evening. My name is Sue, and once again, I'm going to recite a slight parody that I wrote today. Absolutely hilarious. Now, this is a short, 400 words story with nothing but oxymoron statements. It's a play on the American English language, and it's quite comical. Hope you enjoy. I was at work, and there was going to be an inspection the next day, so everything was in a controlled chaos. Controlled chaos. That is an example of an oxymoron. I find it funny, and just another example of how flexible the English is. So, as I prepared to get ready for the inspection, I was a wise fool to think that I was going to get any enjoyment out of the bittersweet joy of taking the calculated risk of leaving. Now, in that sentence, I got like 3 different oxymorons. I had a few words with a supervisor who had clearly misunderstood what I had meant when I had said that I had found missing my worksheet. She had offered an impossible solution to the problem, and I had left work that day with a joyful sadness. It was like I was working for a living dead who all had their own unbiased opinions. It was not as if they would miss me. I had been clearly misunderstood. It was getting pretty ugly there due to the people being so stressed out. So I went out to my car, a Ford Mustang, and I was about to leave when I was almost hit by someone else who was trying to get home and escape the chaos that existed. They were keeping a close distance from me, but we were awfully lucky that we didn't have an accident. It was then that I got onto the parkway where I would be driving my Ford Mustang home to park it in my driveway. I looked over and saw my husband climbing down the ladder to greet me. I silently screamed inside as I knew he was going to ask me why I was home from work so early. So I tried to act naturally and said it was so I went home. This is when I went inside the house, and good grief, the house was not in a controlled chaos. It was a disaster. With as much control as possible, I let out a silent scream and took out the paper towels. And I started to clean. There was something on the stove that looked amazingly awful. Just what on earth had my husband made this time, I wondered. My husband could cook and had a habit of making food that was disgustingly delicious. After I cleaned, I met my husband outside, who had been busy, and he climbed down the ladder once again, and I laughed. He'd been out of work because of poor health, and it was seriously funny that we were going through all this and that we still had the love in our hearts. We had always had a love-hate relationship, but this was life.